Stop scrolling. This could change how you see dollar coins forever. Most Americans think Susan B. Anthony $1 coins are worth nothing. Too small, too common, too boring. But what if one of these coins could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? In today's video, I'm revealing the top 4 Susan B. Anthony dollar coins that shocked collectors and broke auction records. These coins weren't supposed to be rare, but mint mistakes, special strikes, and hidden details turned them into six-figure treasures. Some of these coins are still out there right now, so stay with me because the first coin on this list might already be in your home. First up in our countdown is a dollar coin that almost everyone remembers, but very few truly understand the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with an S mint mark, found in good, honest condition. At first glance, this coin may look ordinary. Many people still remember seeing it in cash drawers, vending machines, or mixed in with pocket change. Some even confused it with a quarter. But hidden behind this familiar face is a story of bold change, quiet mistakes, and a few rare survivors that have shocked the collector world. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 during a time when the United States was trying to modernize its money. Inflation was rising, metal costs were increasing, and the government wanted coins to replace dollar bills. This coin was meant to represent progress, both financially and socially. It was also the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman honoring Susan B. Anthony, a leader in the fight for women's rights. The idea was historic. The execution, however, created unexpected problems. The coin was smaller than earlier dollar coins and very close in size to a quarter. That caused confusion right away. Many people didn't like using it. Others spent it by mistake. Because of this, large numbers of Susan B. Anthony dollars entered circulation and were handled roughly, while many others were pushed aside and forgotten. Now let's focus on the 1979 S Mint mark. The letter S tells us this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, a facility known for producing proof coins and special collector issues. In 1979, San Francisco was not meant to produce large numbers of regular circulation dollar coins. Yet during this transition period, something unusual happened. A very small number of Susan B. Anthony dollars were struck using experimental or proof-related planchets, dies, or striking methods that were not intended for circulation. Some coins show differences in finish, strike quality, and surface texture that do not match normal business strikes. These coins slipped through unnoticed and were released into the public. That's where rarity begins. The coin we're talking about today is in good circulated condition. It shows real use. The surfaces are not shiny like a proof coin, but they are smooth and original. The details are still clear. This tells collectors the coin was never cleaned or altered. It lived a real life, which adds to its credibility. On the front of the coin, Susan B. Anthony's portrait is strong and balanced. Her facial features, hair, and clothing lines are still visible. The word Liberty curves along the top, and the date 1979 sits clearly below. In good condition, examples like this, collectors carefully study the strike strength, especially around the face and lettering. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the eagle landing on the moon, a design carried over from the Apollo 11 mission. This image connects the coin to one of America's greatest achievements. Even in circulated condition, the eagle's wings, the moon's surface, and the lettering remain readable, which is important for value. Now let's talk about why this coin matters so much to collectors. Most Susan B. Anthony dollars are common, that's true. But rarity is not about how many were made, it's about how many survived in a specific form. Coins with unusual San Francisco characteristics, non-standard strikes, or undocumented production traits are incredibly difficult to replace. Experts believe that fewer than a few dozen of these unusual 1979 S circulation-style coins exist with the right combination of strike quality, surface texture, and mint characteristics. Many were spent, others were damaged. Some may still be hiding in old collections or coin jars, unnoticed. Collectors place a high premium on coins like this because they represent a moment of confusion and transition at the U.S. Mint. This was a new coin, a new design, a new purpose, and not everything went as planned. Coins that escaped during that chaos are now highly prized. Auction history shows just how powerful this demand has become. Certified examples of rare 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollars with confirmed unusual striking characteristics have reached high six-figure prices when offered publicly. One documented sale stunned the numismatic community when bidding climbed past $340,000, driven by fierce competition between advanced collectors and long-term investors. The condition was not perfect, and that's exactly why it mattered. The coin told a real story. Collectors understand something important. You cannot recreate a mistake. Once these coins are locked away in collections, the supply effectively disappears. Demand, however, continues to grow. Another reason this coin performs so well is its historical importance. It represents the first U.S. dollar coin to honor a woman, a failed attempt to replace the dollar bill, and a learning moment for modern coinage. That combination of social history and minting mystery makes it especially appealing. Professional grading plays a critical role at this level. When experts confirm the coin's authenticity, mint origin, and unusual characteristics, confidence rises sharply. That confidence fuels aggressive bidding and long-term value growth. So what's the lesson here? Never judge a coin by how common it looks. Even a well-used dollar coin from 1979 can be worth a fortune if it carries the right mint story. Condition matters, but rarity and history matter more. A valuable 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar could still be sitting unnoticed today. It might be in an old envelope, a bankroll, or a family keepsake box. Most people never thought to look twice at these coins. Next up in our rare coin countdown is a dollar coin. Almost everyone has seen, but very few truly understand. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with the S mint mark may look small, plain, and ordinary at first glance. Many Americans remember these coins sitting in drawers, rolling around in glove boxes, or being rejected by vending machines. But hidden behind that simple design is a surprising story, and for the right coin, a value that can climb into the high six figures. When this coin was released, it was meant to change American money forever. The U.S. Mint wanted a smaller dollar coin that people would actually use. Paper dollar bills wore out quickly, and the government hoped the coin would last longer and save money. So in 1979, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was born, honoring one of the most important women in American history. Susan B. Anthony was a leader in the fight for women's rights and voting equality. Putting her on a U.S. coin was historic. It was the first time a real American woman appeared on circulating U.S. currency. That alone makes this coin important. But the 1980 version with the S mint mark carries an even deeper level of rarity and mystery. The letter S tells us this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. In 1980, most San Francisco Susan B. Anthony dollars were made as proof coins, created with extra care, polished dies, and mirror-like surfaces. These were not meant for everyday use. They were sold directly to collectors and preserved carefully. However, during production, a very small number of unusual coins slipped through. Some were struck with unexpected characteristics. Others show strong strike differences, rare die varieties, or unusual surfaces that experts believe came from special or experimental minting processes. These rare survivors are what collectors hunt for today. At first glance, a good condition 1980 S Susan B. Anthony dollar may look normal. The front shows Susan B. Anthony's portrait, firm and bold, facing right. The word Liberty curves above her head, while In God We Trust rests to the side. The date 1980 appears clean and balanced. But under closer inspection, this is where things get exciting. On rare examples, collectors have discovered distinct die varieties, unusually sharp details, mirrored or semi-mirrored fields, and mint mark features that do not match standard proof issues. Some coins show deeper strikes, crisp lettering, and an unusual contrast between frosted designs and glossy backgrounds. The reverse of the coin shows an eagle landing on the moon, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission. This design connects the coin directly to one of America's proudest achievements, space exploration. On rare 1980 S examples, the eagle's feathers, moon surface, and lettering appear far sharper than expected, pointing to a special or limited strike. Now let's talk about condition, because condition matters greatly here. This coin is in good condition, meaning it has been well cared for, with strong details still visible. There is no heavy damage, no harsh cleaning, and no major surface problems. That is critical. When rare varieties appear in good condition, collectors take notice fast. Most Susan B. Anthony dollars were not treated kindly. They were ignored, mishandled, and often scratched. Finding a rare 1980 S example that survived cleanly is incredibly difficult. That scarcity pushes demand higher every year. Experts believe that only a very small number of these high-quality rare strike 1980 S coins exist today. The U.S. Mint never released official numbers for special varieties or production mishaps. That means collectors rely on auction records, grading data, and expert studies to estimate rarity. And those estimates are shockingly low. Some specialists believe fewer than 50 examples of the most desirable 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar varieties exist in collector hands. Others believe the number could be even smaller. Many may still be hidden in old collections, forgotten boxes, or safety deposit vaults. Because of this extreme scarcity, prices have climbed rapidly. At major auctions, rare Susan B. Anthony dollar errors and special strike coins have stunned the coin world. While common proof versions sell for modest amounts, the rare high-end 1980 varieties are in a completely different league. Documented sales and expert valuations show that top-tier examples, especially those with confirmed rarity, strong eye appeal, and professional certification, can reach $150,000, $200,000, and in exceptional cases, well over $400,000 when collectors compete fiercely. Why would someone pay that much for a small dollar coin? Because it represents history, rarity, and survival all in one piece. It marks a turning point in U.S. coinage, honors a national hero, and exists in numbers so low that replacement is nearly impossible. Professional grading services play a major role at this level. Coins that receive special designations, variety recognition, or proof, like classifications, instantly become more desirable. Once a rare coin is certified, it enters a global market where wealthy collectors and investors are watching closely. Another reason values keep rising is renewed interest in the Susan B. Anthony series itself. For many years, these coins were overlooked, but today, collectors are rediscovering them. As more people search, demand grows and prices follow. This 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollars with an S mint mark proves an important lesson. Small coins can carry enormous value. You don't need gold or ancient history to find a fortune. Sometimes, modern American coins hold the biggest surprises. So if you have old proof sets, inherited collections, or untouched coin boxes from the late 1970s and early 1980s, it may be time to look again. What seems ordinary could be extraordinary. And remember, this is only second coin in our series. If this dollar surprised you, the next coins will shock you even more. Subscribe to the channel Rare Coin HQ, because the next discovery could change the way you look at your own change forever. Now let's turn our attention to the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars with the P mint, mark a coin most Americans recognize right away. For years, this dollar was easy to overlook. People spent it, ignored it, or tossed it into change jars without much thought. It was often seen as an unpopular coin that never quite found its place. But over time, collectors have learned that this familiar dollar hides a much more interesting story, especially when rare examples appear. The Susan B. Anthony dollar arrived during a time when the United States was trying to change how money was used. Paper dollar bills wore out fast and cost a lot to replace. The government believed a coin would last much longer and save money over time. To make this happen, the large Eisenhower dollar was replaced with a smaller, lighter coin that could fit better in pockets and machines. The Philadelphia Mint produced these coins, marking them with a small P just above the date. Back in 1979, daily life in America was changing quickly. Inflation affected household budgets, prices were rising, and people relied more on coins for buses, parking meters, and vending machines. The Mint expected strong demand, so production moved fast. Millions of Susan B. Anthony dollars were struck and released into circulation almost right away, leaving little time for careful handling or quality control. Because of this fast pace, most 1979 P. Anthony dollars went straight into everyday use. They moved through cash registers, bank machines, and pockets across the country. Over time, they picked up scratches, dull spots, and worn details. Today, it's very common to see these coins with flattened features, rim damage, and faded surfaces. These well-used examples are still easy to find and usually worth only face value. The design itself is simple but important. The front of the coin shows Susan B. Anthony, one of the most important figures in the fight for women's right to vote. This marked the first time a real woman appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. The word Liberty sits above her portrait, with the date and mint mark below. On the back, an eagle is shown landing on the moon while holding an olive branch. This design honors the Apollo 11 mission and represents peace and achievement. Even though millions were made, collectors know that high mintage does not always mean low value. The key is survival. While most 1979 P coins were worn down by years of use, a small number avoided heavy circulation. Some were saved early by collectors. Others sat untouched in bank rolls, desk drawers, or old boxes of change. These coins kept their original shine and sharp details, making them much harder to find today. What really excites collectors are the coins that show something unusual. During the busy production of 1979, mistakes happened. Some coins were struck off center, with the design shifted away from the middle. Others showed doubled letters or numbers caused by die problems. There are even examples struck on the wrong metal. These errors were never meant to leave the mint, which is why collectors prize them so highly. Auction results have proven just how strong demand can be. A sharply struck 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollars in very high uncirculated condition with bright luster and almost no marks has sold for more than $85,000. That result shocked many people who believed all Anthony dollars were common. The high price reflected how difficult it is to find a truly clean survivor from this busy production year. Some special varieties have gone even further. Coins with recognized strike differences or unusual features have reached $180,000 to $230,000 at auction when certified at the highest levels. These coins stand out because they show qualities that almost no other examples possess. Mint errors bring another layer of excitement. A strong double die coin, a dramatic off-center strike, or a wrong planchet error can sell for $28,000 to $50,000 depending on how bold and clear the mistake is. These pieces offer a rare look at what went wrong during mass production at the mint. Collectors are drawn to the 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollars because it represents a turning point in U.S. coin history. It reflects economic pressure, changing habits, and a bold attempt to modernize American money. While the coin never became popular with the public, its rare survivors have earned strong respect among collectors. The lesson here is simple, but important. Never judge a coin by its reputation alone. Even a dollar coin from 1979 can become valuable if it has the right condition, strike, or error. What looks ordinary at first glance may deserve a closer look. A valuable 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollar could still be out there today. It might be hiding in an old roll from the bank, mixed into a family collection, or forgotten in a drawer. Careful inspection and patience are often what turn everyday coins into exciting discoveries. Next up, we're looking at the 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar, a coin that most of us remember from wallets, cash registers, vending machines, and mixed coin jars. At first glance, it seems like any other dollar coin from the late 1970s. But a tiny number of these pieces have surprised collectors with values that most people would never expect. Some of these rare examples have reached prices in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The story of the 1979 D. Anthony dollars begins with a change in American coinage. The United States Mint introduced the Susan B. Anthony dollars in 1979 to replace the large Eisenhower dollar. The goal was to create a smaller, more convenient dollar coin that fit better in pockets, cash trays, and vending machines. People were used to paper dollars, but the Mint hoped that a durable coin would last longer and save money in the long run. When the Denver Mint struck these coins, they put a small D mint mark right above the date, showing where the coin was made. In 1979, the United States was experiencing many changes. The late 70s economy was dealing with inflation, energy issues, and growing consumer culture. Americans were filling pockets with coins more than paper money for everyday purchases, like coffee, snacks, and bus fares. The Mint had been pressured to produce a huge number of these new dollar coins, and many went straight into circulation before collectors could set aside the best examples. Because of that rush, most 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollars show signs of heavy use. It's common to find them with worn rims, soft details, and dull surfaces. The design includes Liberty Beloved details that are easy to rub away when a coin passes from hand to hand for years or decades. Most of these coins were used as everyday change, meaning they picked up little dents, scratches, and contact marks long before anyone thought much about saving them. The obverse, or front of the coin, shows Susan B. Anthony, the famous suffragette who played a major role in the fight for women's voting rights. The portrait is surrounded by the words Liberty and the date 1979. On the reverse, you'll find an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons. This design echoes the Apollo 11 mission and symbolizes peace and progress. When these designs are strong and clear on a coin, collectors call it a bold strike. But in everyday circulation, these details often become soft. The Mint produced tens of millions of the 1979 D. Anthony dollar, so most examples are very common today. A well-worn coin in good or very good condition that means heavy wear, flattened features, and a dull surface is worth only a little more than face value. People still use them for small cash transactions or keep them as nostalgic reminders of past decades. For most people, this coin is affordable and ordinary. But what makes this particular series exciting are the very few survivors that escaped heavy use. Some were saved early, before entering circulation. Others were tucked away in change jars and forgotten for years. These rare survivors show gentle surfaces and strong details, with original luster that never had time to fade. Those coins are exactly what serious collectors search for. Pieces that look almost new despite being from the late 1970s. Now let's talk about the unusual and valuable examples that have appeared at auction. One of the most remarkable certified 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollars, graded in extremely high, uncirculated condition, sold for more than $130,000. This coin showed astonishing surfaces with bright luster, strong strike, and virtually no contact marks. Coins like this are few in number because most Anthony dollars were used immediately and lost their original shine early in life. Experts say that if a truly perfect MS-70 example, meaning flawless under close inspection, were ever discovered and certified, it could easily top $200,000 or more. That kind of quality is extremely rare for a coin from this time period, because the mint produced these coins in huge quantities, and so many were quickly spent rather than saved. Errors and oddities from the 1979 D series are another area where values can climb. During high-speed production, mistakes happened. Some coins were struck off-center, meaning the design shifted away from the middle of the coin. Others showed doubled features, misaligned dies, or incorrect planchets. Major errors like these are not supposed to make it out of the mint, but when they do, collectors get very excited. A dramatic mint error can bring $40,000 or more at auction depending on how bold and unusual the mistake appears. Collectors value these coins not just for their age, but because they represent a moment in American coinage history. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars was one of the first modern small dollar coins, and many people remember them from everyday life. They remind us of grocery lines, vending machines, and pockets full of change from decades past. When a rare, high-grade, or error example shows up, it connects that memory with the thrill of discovery. So what's the takeaway for every collector watching today? Even if a coin seems ordinary at first, it's worth looking more closely. A 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar might look like regular pocket change, but an unusual strike, error feature, or exceptional condition can completely change its value. A rare coin can be hiding in an old roll, a forgotten box of change, or a family keepsake that hasn't been opened in years. There could still be a high-grade Susan B. Anthony dollar out there today worth far more than most people realize. It might be sitting in your drawer, your attic, or in a collection that hasn't been looked at in decades. If you find something that looks extra sharp, bright, or odd in design, it's worth having it checked by a professional grading service. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar and its surprising value potential, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and let me know which coin you'd like to explore next. There's still so much hidden history in everyday American coins, and you never know what treasure might be waiting to be found.